Oh.
What? Oh my gosh. She actually said that out of her own mouth. I really don't know what to even say to that. Hey guys, what's up? So today we're going to be reacting to a video, Charlie Kirk versus another pro-abortion college student. You guys, you want to pull up a seat for this because it gets very interesting.
How are you going to make legislation to hurt women and women's rights?
Here they go with that.
Are men allowed to have opinions on abortion?
You can have opinions on abortion, but what I'm saying is, how are these men going to create this legislation?
Got it. So, well, men are allowed to have opinion on moral matters too, right?
Right.
Got it. So
That's
if I was a
true.
male OBGYN, is it okay for that person to make issues of legislation?
Well, they're educated. They understand. They are...
So according to her logic, only if you are like a professional who went to school, you have you can have a say in regards to abortion. Me personally, I don't see what the two have to do with each other. I don't really agree with that, but let's hear what Charlie has to say.
But here's something we all know, because God wrote this on the human heart of every individual, as it says in the book of Romans. We know deep down it's wrong to murder a baby.
You're not murdering a baby. It's not a baby.
Okay, well let's play the...
I honestly believe that unless you are really a vile, evil, immoral, heartless human being, there is, I believe, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I believe that there is still a little section for those who want to scream on the top of the mountaintops to try and justify abortion. You know, there's still a part of them that believes and knows that it's wrong. They can try and convince themselves. They can try and convince other people all they want. I genuinely believe that deep down, most people believe that it's not right.
What is it then?
It is an embryo, which is not a baby.
So at what point does it become a baby?
When it is born.
Oh.
What? Pause. Oh, first off, I love his face right there. Second of all, oh my gosh, she actually said that out of her own mouth. According to her, a baby is not a baby until it comes out. But the whole 9 months, it wasn't a baby. I really don't know what to even say to that. She knows she's wrong, but her pride won't let her accept the fact that she's wrong. So she's gonna come up with every single wild argument just for the sake of being loud so she can look like she's right. You guys know what I mean? Tell me how you feel about this whole thing so far. I really want to hear from you guys. I got a lot to say, but let's keep watching.
Your life started at conception.
It did not, though. It did not.
Well, hold on. So let's play this out.
Jeez.
So who are you as an individual? From your skin color to your eye color?
I am not an embryo. I'm a person.
Hold on a second.
You were once
but it
an
started
embryo.
with something called
You were once an
deoxyribonucleic acid. You are your DNA. Every one of your DNA cells is coded XX or XY. It's coded with all of your unique characteristics and attributes that we believe God individually curated for the rest of your life. That doesn't happen at 8 weeks or 10 weeks. It happens at conception.
What happens?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, for a while I wasn't a huge fan of Charlie. Not even saying that like I'm a huge fan now. I do respect the fact that he always is ready to defend his beliefs and why he believes what he believes, as well as not being afraid to challenge, you know, the opposing party's opinions. Like honestly, like as far as debate, he's a good debater. I have to give it to him for that.
The mother will die if she does not get an abortion. What's your stance on
the
that?
The only place where medical abortion is necessary is before 20 weeks, which is incredibly
What if she
rare.
will die?
Let's say it's 27 weeks, okay? And the mother will die. Why shouldn't, you could agree, why don't we just have the baby delivered by cesarean section?
What if you're not able to have a C-section? What if you are on your deathbed? You need to have an abortion right now.
Okay, so again, he brought up the C-section. I thought that was a good point. And then as far as her saying, well, what if she can't get a C-section? What if she has to have an abortion? Either way, they're both invasive procedures, okay? The mother's body is going to be poked, cut, probed, whatever. It's going to be invasive either way. But I do agree with Charlie's position. Let's remove the child from the mother. Yes, the child will be preemie. I don't think that you would have to necessarily terminate it. And then, you know, the baby lives, then the baby lives. And unfortunately, if the baby passes, but it will be on it would be due to natural causes and not to murdering the child.
But
And it's illegal. You can't, so you
actually,
have to die.
First and foremost,
The baby is already dead, you just said.
no, but even no. Hold on a second. You're saying if the baby's already dead, then it isn't even an abortion, right? Then you're talking about a removal of a
Yes,
carcass,
a
which is a
miscarriage.
completely different medical operation.
So you're saying that's okay if you're having
if you're it's not an abortion by
the
definition.
same process.
No, it's completely different. They actually inject the spinal fluid with cyanide poisoning as the baby squirms and tries to find its mother, and it is gasping for air of life. Have you ever watched an
That's so
abortion?
sad.
It is
Have
one
you?
of the. Yeah, actually, I have, and I encourage every human being to watch one to know what you are fighting against. You're using dehumanizing language, saying, "Oh, it's an embryo." No, that's a baby made in the image of God, deserving of protection.
There you go.
So now we've transitioned to like, what do you do with the kids?
Right.
Glad we're past the other part of the argument. There's twice as many people on the adoption waiting list than there are abortions every single year.
And they're still on the list. So you want to send a child into an orphanage?
There's no such thing as an unwanted child. Number 3, it is never right to justify the mass elimination or termination of people under the guise of saying they're unwanted. What's the moral difference between a small baby in the womb and a grown Jew who was killed at Auschwitz? What's the moral difference? One is
of them
older?
is a person.
What species is the baby in the womb?
It's a human, but it's
Therefore,
an
they should have
embryo.
human rights.
No.
First off, if we really think about it, we were literally all embryos at one point. So whenever they say, well, it's not a human, it's not a baby, it's an embryo. But you were once an embryo. Your parents were once embryos. Your grandparents were once embryos. We were all once embryos, and yet here we are today. What's the difference? Really, the only difference is that we're older and we're out of the womb. We've been born. So that's why I personally do not agree when they say things like that. What do you think? Let me know. Be commenting below as you're watching this. Make your points known. I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say.
So rape and incest are less than half of 1% of all abortions.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking if I just happen to be pregnant.
Oh, well, you don't happen to get pregnant. It's like not like getting COVID.
I know how
okay?
it works.
I know, right?
how it works.
You don't get the flu.
I know.
How about
but
this?
say
You
I got
take
pregnant.
responsibility for your orgasms and
What if
stop
that
eliminating
doesn't work?
people smaller than you.
There we go. The key word that he said right there, responsibility. Unfortunately, in this society, you know, hookup culture is encouraged. Being wild, doing whatever you want with no consequences has been pushed on us. And unfortunately, a lot of those in my generation have adopted that mentality. So it's simple. It's like either abstain or protect yourself. And if you don't do any of those, don't be surprised if pregnancy comes about. Like, I don't know what's so hard. I think we all, at some age, we learn how children are made. So there's actually a scripture that I kept thinking about when Charlie was talking about, you know, how life begins at conception. Psalm chapter 139 verses 13 and 14 says, "For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, and I know that full well." So whenever I hear people that want to argue that, oh, it's just an embryo, oh, it's just a group of cells, what does it matter? Like, sorry, scripture says that they are fearfully and wonderfully made, intricately made. So I've watched the video and I've given my opinions and my feelings about this topic, but I'm really curious as to what you who is watching, what you have to say. So leave them in the comments below. I really want to hear you out, especially if you don't agree with my position. I want to hear what you have to say. Be on the lookout for more reaction videos in the future. So what I want you to do is hit the subscribe button and notification bell because I post every week. So that's all that I got for today. Make sure that you pull up a seat again next week because we have a lot more to talk about and I want you on board for it. Until next time, God bless you all, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.